Hello everyone, welcome back to the classes. So today in this video, we're going to complete the rest string functions that are left, and we'll also understand about character functions. So let us move quickly. So the next string function we have is ends with. This function is used to check whether a given string ends with a particular string or not. So let us understand with the help of an example. So here this is a sentence, computer is fun. And we want to check if this sentence ends with the word fun. Means at the end of the sentence there should be a word called fun. So fun is present at the end? Yes. Here you are checking. S1. What is S1? This one is S1. S1 ends with S2. What is S2? Fun. That is, we are telling that if in the string S1, S2 is present at the end. Yes, fun is present at the end. So we'll get the answer as true. Similarly, next time we are checking if in the string S1, at the end there is UN. That is string S3, UN. Yes, UN is present. It doesn't have to be a word. It can be one character, two character, three character, part of a string. It can be anything. But it should end with that word or character. So yes, it is ending with UN. So again, we are getting the answer as true. Next time, we are checking if in string S1, that is computer is fun, ends with S4, that is UN. But here UN is in small letters. Remember, Java is always case sensitive. Yes, UN is present at the end, but UN are capital in the string. But here you are checking small u and n. So the answer is false. For example, I want to check if at the end of the string an is present. No, un is present, not an. So again, you will get the answer as false. You just have to check if at the end the string you are checking is present or not. It is very easy. And generally, we will not be using that much in our programming. You just have to remember for theory. Similarly, we also have start with. It is just the opposite of end with. In end with, we are checking at the last of the sentence. In start with, we will be checking at the beginning of the sentence. So in the string computer is fun, we are checking is computer is present at the beginning. Yes, it is present. So we are getting the answer as true. String S1, that is computer is fun, starts with S2, that is computer. Yes, it starts with S2, that is computer. So we are getting the answer as true. Similarly, does the string starts with COMP? Yes, it starts with COMP. So we are getting the answer as true. Similarly, does the string starts with computer? Yes, it starts with computer, but here the computer is capital letters. Here we are checking for small letter. So you will get the answer as false. For example, you want to find if computer is fun starts with is. So is present, but it is in the middle. Is it present at the starting point? No. So we'll get the answer as false. So ends with starts with, you just have to check in ends with if the ending is matching, and it starts with if the beginning word or character is matching. If it is matching, you will get true, else you will get false. So these two questions will be coming in your theory. There is very less chance that we will be using in our programming. Next is value of. So value of also comes in your theory part, not much used in programming, but you have to remember, and it is also very important. It has come in theory part many times. So what is value of? This function is used to convert a primitive data type to string. So in chapter 3 of class 9, if you remember, we talked about typecasting. But in typecasting, we are able to convert only primitive data type to another primitive data type, right? Similarly, in chapter 8 of class 10, we studied about wrapper class, where we studied how to convert a primitive data type to object. But we never studied how to convert a primitive data type to string. So now we are going to understand how to convert primitive data type to string. So to convert a primitive data type to string, you have to use the function string dot value of. You have to use the function string dot value of. So here you can see these are different types of primitive values. A is integer type, B is integer type, C is integer type, D is integer type. of different data types. All are integer type but of different data types. 5.7 and 78.6 are of real type. This is char and this is boolean. Now if you write string dot value of a, what is a? A is byte 25. So this will convert the value into string. That is within double quotes. That is how you represent a string constant. So in S1, double quotes 25 will be stored. So when you print it, it will display 25 only. You will not see the difference. If you print A, you will get the answer as 25. If you print S1 also, you will get the answer as 25, but both are different. Here 25 in A is of integer type, but here 25 what you are printing in S1 is of string type. So if you want to convert, so in board exam you may get a question, how to convert primitive data types to string value. You have to write string dot value. Also in board exam they may ask you how to convert a string value to integer type, for example. Then comes a buffered reader, that is parse. You studied about parse int, parse double, parse float. So if you use parse int, you can convert a string to integer. If you use parse byte, you will convert a string to byte. If you use parse double, you will convert a string to double. So from string to primitive data types, you have to use this parse function, which we studied in buffer reader chapter. Here we are studying about how to convert a primitive to string. It is opposite of that. For that you have to use string dot value of, and you can write a variable or you can write a value directly, and it will get converted to a string value. Again, not much of use in programming, but you will get questions in theory. So this completes all types of string functions. Now we'll move to character functions. String and character are different. String is a class type data type, and character, which we call single character, is a primitive type. So in the previous case we are talking about strings. Now we'll be talking about single character constants. So first is character dot isLetter. This function is used to check whether a given character is an alphabet or not. That is a letter or not. You want to check, for example, char A is having some character. We don't know. You want to check if that character is an alphabet. If it is an alphabet, you will get the answer as true. If it is not an alphabet, you will get the answer as false. For that you have to use the function character dot isLetter. So in this example we are checking character isLetter and where the character is M. So M is an alphabet, so we are getting the answer as true. Similarly capital M, both small and capital all are letters, again true. 6 is not a letter, it is a digit, therefore we are getting the answer as false. Percentage, again it is a special character, therefore we are getting an answer as false. So it will only return true when the character is an alphabet. And remember, we are talking about character, not string. You will not write string here. For example, I write DC. This becomes a string. No, we are not talking about string here. Now we are talking about character functions. Okay, we are talking about character functions. So here we will only take single character constants. Next is character is digit. It is same as character is letter. In character is letter, we are talking about letters. In character is digit, we are talking about digits. If it is a digit, it will give you true. If it is not a digit, it will give you false. So if you are checking M, obviously it is an alphabet, therefore it is giving false. Capital M, alphabet, it is giving false. 6, it is a digit, therefore you are getting the answer as true. Percentage, it is a special character, therefore you are getting the answer as false. And remember, character functions are also going to be used in your programs. Okay, so you have to remember both string functions and character functions so that you can do string based or character based programs, which we'll be doing in our next video. Next is character is letter or digit. So here it is mixture of the two previous cases, that is letter and digit. So if it is a letter, it will give you true. If it is a digit also, it will give you true. It will give you false only if it is not a letter or a digit, means other than a letter or digit. That is, it can be special character, arithmetic signs and symbols. So here M is an alphabet, so true. Capital M, again an alphabet, true. 6 digit, true. Percent sign, neither a digit nor an alphabet, therefore you are getting the answer as false. So it is mixture of both letter and digit. If either letter or digit is present, it will give you true, else it will give you false. Next we have is character is white space. Is white space. Here white space means nothing but space. So if there is a space, it will give you true, or else it will give you false. So for example, you are checking if M is a white space. White space means nothing but it is space only. So you are getting false. Here we are checking if space is present. Therefore you got the answer as true. So for letter you have a function to check if there is a letter. For digits you have a function. Combination of both letter and digit you have a function. And also for space you have a function. To check if space is present, is letter is present, is digit present, or both letter or digit is present. Next is character is uppercase. So here you already know that there is an alphabet and you want to check if that alphabet is capital or small. Capital means uppercase, that is nothing but capital letters. Similarly we have lowercase to check if it is in small case, that is small letters. So here M is an alphabet. Is it in uppercase? No. Therefore you got the answer as false. Here capital M is uppercase letter. Therefore you got the answer as 2. What will happen if you check character is uppercase of 2? This is a question for you. You have to tell me that what will happen if you give or if you check character is uppercase of 2. 2 is not an alphabet. So what will get? We'll get false or we'll get an error. So this is a question for you. You have to tell me if you'll get false as the answer or error as the answer. I'll be waiting for you. Next, similarly we have lowercase. Here M is in lowercase, therefore we got true. But here M is capital, so we got false. So lowercase and uppercase are opposite of each other. One is checking if characters, if alphabets are uppercase. The next, that is lowercase, is checking if the alphabet is in lowercase. Now instead of is uppercase, you are using 2 uppercase. This is to convert. Is means you are checking. 2 means you are converting. You have to remember. So if you want to convert a lowercase letter to an uppercase letter, then you have to use character 2 uppercase. So here if you write character 2 uppercase of small m, you will get the answer as capital M. And if you write character 2 uppercase of percentage, so percentage is not an alphabet, therefore it will remain as it is. It will not give any error. Don't write it will give error. No. It will return only the value. It will not convert anything. It will not give any error. It will just return the value. Similarly, we have 2 lowercase. If you want to convert a capital alphabet to a small alphabet. And similarly here also, if there is any other character like digits or special characters, the same value will be written without any error. It will not give any error. So now comes the question which I asked you. That is, if I write 2 and check if it is uppercase or lowercase, will I get false or will I get error? It is similar to this case. That is 2 uppercase and 2 lowercase. When you gave percentage sign which is not an alphabet, you didn't get any error but a percentage sign. That is, you have given percentage sign, so you got the answer as percentage sign. If it would have been 6, you will get the answer as 6. Okay, means the same value will get returned. Similarly here, you will not get any error. You will not get any error. Instead, you will get the answer as false. So if you write any other character except alphabet, obviously it is not going to give true because you cannot check if it is uppercase or lowercase. It is only applicable in alphabets. So here you will get the answer as false. Will not get any errors. So this completes all types of string and character functions that are present in our ICSE syllabus. Next video, we are going to solve and write programs based on this string functions and character functions. So now I will show you the questions that we are going to solve in our next class. If you want, you can solve these questions beforehand, though you may not be able to solve many questions, or you may be able to solve some questions. These are trick questions. You just have to see which function are applicable here. Don't worry if you're not able to solve, because I am going to solve each and every question. So there are like around 20 questions. I will show you. Pause your video, write the questions in your copy and try it. Just try it. Even if you are not able to write a single sentence, don't worry. We are going to solve all the string questions that I will be showing you now one by one. So here are the questions. Please pause the video and write down the questions. This is the question number 1, 2 and 3. Next, question 4, 5, 6 and 7. Next is question 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 and 13. Please pause the video and write the questions in your copy. These are very important questions, and you may also get 99% similar questions in your board exam. Almost identical questions. So these are very important questions. Please write down these questions in your copy. Next is question number 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 and 20. So there are total 20 questions. If you solve these 20 questions, it is guaranteed that you can solve any string questions that will come in your board exam. You can solve 99% of the string questions that will come in your board exam, because board exam string questions are easier than this. Okay, so out of these 20 questions, some have also come in your board exam. So this completes strings. Next class we are going to solve all these 20 questions, and before that I would wish that you solve all these questions. Even if they are 100% wrong, it doesn't matter, just try it. If you try beforehand, it will be easier to understand the videos in the next class. Thank you.